Hello. Hi team. Happy Friday. I am very excited to be coming to you live today after a little hiatus, and I hope that we can have a few people or more people join us live to ask questions. Now, I have actually pre-loaded some questions from you all, and I'm going to go, hey Adam, how are you going? I'm going to go straight into the question that I posed maybe 2 days ago, and that would be, what would you like to do better in your relationships? So I prompted there's sort of two common threads from what I hear in working with my clients, and that is that they want to be able to support their partners more. Like they hear reports from their partners that something's not quite right, or they're getting feedback and they want to be able to support, but they're not sure how to. And the other most common thread is being able to listen or communicate better. So out of all of you who voted, thank you, 60% voted for supporting their partners more, which is a lot. It was very close to 50-50, but when it comes to supporting your partner more, usually the first thing is the other option there, and that is to literally listen and communicate better. Now, this is a two-way street, and I want to actually speak to something that's happened to myself firsthand over the last week in my relationship, and that is through our looking to grow and thrive and become better together. My partner had this amazing analogy, and I've got it here. I'm going to read it to you so it's word for word. Now, if I can open it, and the guys are going to love this. The guys, AFL incoming. This is how he sees it, and this is how he sees it from the male perspective, of course, and it's just his experience, so it's not right or wrong. To win a game of football, you worry about doing all the little things. You look at all the players, you take care of all the pieces of the puzzle first. You do the small things right to make it happen. You offer a pathway for them to win. You don't just ask the team to win. That's how you get results in relationships. You create a safe environment for the person to feel comfortable or safe, in my eyes. And then the final part is easy. It's taken care of. So that's what my Ryan shared with me a couple of days ago as we were sorting through and weeding through some alternative views on each of our part, where I didn't feel as supported and he probably didn't know where to start, and I was most likely telling him what to do rather than actually creating the environment for him to be able to do it. So I love that's an AFL example. I'm learning more about AFL, and I have my own fantasy dream team this weekend or this season, which has been a very steep learning curve. I think in this piece and in the piece of supporting your partner better or doing this better, what you want to lean into here is as the woman. So there's two parts to the equation here. So remember, it's not just you and it's not just them. There are two pieces of the puzzle that need to link together. So as a woman, we need to learn to actually, and this is what I have had to learn to do myself better over time, is to actually provide the environment to listen. Like honestly listen. And in doing so, like allowing that space and allowing that time for your partner to adequately, because it can take time in that moment for them to actually find the right words or find what they actually want to say. So you can each way support each other more. And as a woman, you have to allow the space for a man to do that. And as a man, you do as well. So remember, the masculine and feminine energies are both in all of us. It's not just the man is the masculine, the woman is the feminine. I'm a woman very fiercely in her masculine a lot of the time. And it's come against me in relationships, big time. This is probably my biggest lesson and wound in relationships. And that's to learn to use the part of me that is the feminine part to receive. The feminine receives. Now for men, you're not used to receiving either. You're a provider. You give, or you action, or you create structure. But you actually need to create the space and the environment, so the calmness, the quiet time, the no distractions, the open heart, in order for what they say to be received. Now, this is something that I'm definitely working on, my capacity to receive, and I think a lot of us probably need to work on that also, whether you're a man or a woman. So while your partner might be barking up the tree, telling you things that you could do better or wishing you could do better, one, they're probably not choosing the right words. So give them the space of grace in order to choose kinder words and give them that space to speak their truth, but request of them that it is kind. Kindness is something I've definitely had to learn to be, rather than having all the emotion and all the frustration and all of the anxiety around what you wish would happen and how you wish they would support you and how you wish it would be better. It's to actually step back and to kindly, from a heart and from your heart space and from how it actually feels, portray in a space where it can be received. Okay, so like men want to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Men want to be able to provide. It is in their nature. But sometimes as women, we're not creating the environment for them to actually do that. So this is a two-way street, and these things that come up to butt heads are there to actually be dissolved. And if you don't look to what is running here and what is the truth behind what someone's saying, it's going to continue to butt heads, and you're going to be 60 or 70 with the same niggles and the same gripes, speaking horribly to each other, and nothing's going to change. So there needs to be a willingness to actually hear them and to receive and to speak with kindness and from your heart, and give valid current examples, not ones from a year ago or ones from 2-3 years ago. That's past. Use current examples and speak to it when it occurs. So yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing there that guilty, I need to listen more or better. Thank you, because I think we all do need to listen more or better, because sometimes the listening isn't actually in words. So the listening is how they're being. Are they upset? Are they cranky? Are they frustrated? Yes, there's words, but there's more to it. There's their body language. Are they leaning forwards? Are they retracting and crossing their arms and closing down? Listen to it all. So in order to support your partner better, this is the piece where it's up to the woman to allow the space for a man to step forwards and in. And I shouldn't say man or woman. As I said, the masculine and feminine is in each and all of us. However, it is important that the trait required to do the dance together, the relationship dance together, does show up. So you work in unison, or you work as a pair. So practicing the communication and using the right words takes time, and it takes practice, and you almost need to learn how your partner can speak, whether it's in words or it's in, yes, it is, listening is more than words, whether it's in their emotions. Women are expressive. The feminine is expressive. They might not have the right words. They will show you in tears. And this is not the end of the world. This is not a problem. Do not shame the tears. The tears are speaking to you. Would you prefer a woman bottles it up and keeps it internally and pretends everything's fine, and it turns into this huge dam ready to overflow, and she leaves without you even knowing why? Or would you prefer she gets it out and you dissolve this together and you're on an even level playing field? These are the dynamics, these are the shifts, these are the things to lean into, look into, and feel into, because each of you have a part here. The woman, the feminine, whether you're a man or a woman, the feminine has to invite it in, has to create the space, has to create the energy or the feeling, has to be the open heart or the landing platform. That's the best way to put it. You need to create the platform for the man to land. It's the environment, it's the ecology. Now, men, you are here or available to us to provide. It's in your nature to be the providers. You want to be the hero, you want to win. Just like the AFL analogy, it is literally like men want to win, they play for points. This is not a putting down of men, this is just how they run and how they work. And it's so true to let the man come in and let him have the chance to do what you're asking of him. It takes time, it takes practice. And this is whether you've just met your partner or you've been together 2 years. How well do you really know them? How well do you know what their needs are and their desires? Have you actually listened? Have you asked them how that shows up for them? Like, what does it look like to be more supported? That's so individual. Some people want the trash taken out because then they feel like they're in partnership. And yeah, the woman will kick up a stink if you're sitting on the lounge watching TV and all she needs is to feel supported, which looks to her like taking out the trash or picking up the milk or noticing it's running down without being asked. They're the things that are just the little things that, as I said in that example, or as my partner beautifully and eloquently shared, it is truly about looking at the small pieces of the puzzle. Create the environment so your team can win. Now, he's not as into this awareness, consciousness work space as I am. So for him to come up with the beautiful AFL team analogy while he teaches me how to play fantasy league, it landed. Like, you want to look at all the variables, look at all the pieces of the puzzle here, start to string them together. The men want to string them together. They are the structure, they are the providers. If you don't give them the chance, you're going to continue to argue, you're going to continue to not feel supported, you will continue to feel like you're a team on your own, and it will continue to occur. So to sit in a space of listening, which brings me to the actual experience shared by one of you guys, I won't name names, and that is, my biggest relationship challenge has always been around active and mindful listening. I can be selfish with my time and energy and really had to focus on consciously listening to others and really hearing them. So that was a share from you guys, thank you. And yes, listening is part of supporting, so they're not always independent of each other. However, I don't feel it's necessarily selfish to be selfish with your time and energy. It's looking after yourself. And if you don't look after yourself, you can't come to the relationship happy, fulfilled, or complete in yourself. You're looking to the other person to do all of that for you, and that is not going to be a sustainable environment if you're looking to your partner to provide all of your happiness and all of your needs and all of your joy. So it's really important that you are selfish with your time and selfish with your energy, but speak and share as to what doing those things that might be deemed selfish, what that actually does for you. So your partner understands why you need to go and have time with the boys or run around the field or ride your bike, why riding your bike is so important to you. Not so that they can shame you, but so they can understand you and support you. And look, it's a full circle. That's how you get your support. Don't be afraid to speak. Honestly, if you're not used to communicating your needs or your desires or what different things can do for you, it's rusty like anything new. It takes practice. It takes flexing those muscles. It takes stuffing up your wording and it all coming out wrong. But give your partner the space and the time and the energy and the open heart for you to muck it up a few times and search for the right words and feel you. Really feel you. To have more support and to be better at listening and receiving is to be vulnerable and let down your guard. And what this comes back to is having a safe environment in that moment. Yes, you're not competing at a pub with the football or anything else. You're not coming across in a threatening position. You're actually opening up for them to land on that platform and be heard with no judgment and no criticism and no response. Don't listen to respond. Listen to hear and feel them. And that will look different for everyone. So be with your partner in that moment. No pressure. Give them the time. So that is going to be something to practice over time, something to be open about. And if in that moment that conversation's not working for you or it feels uncomfortable, voice it. You have the power here. Between the two of you, connect the pieces of the puzzle. But remember, there is the space for the invitation into the safe environment and the energy that invites that you actually want to listen and hear them. Any queries or questions coming up here? I can see I'm not really into the awareness space either. Yes, but happy to examine myself on behalf of yes. Thank you. So it's funny how we stereotype or judge people for being quite aware or conscious or anything like that. You can call it whatever you want. It's just being mindful. It's being attuned. It's practicing presence. And it's those things like being present and creating the landing platform, creating the safe environment that will help you to support your partner and help you to function as a unit and to function as a team. And this requires the space and the time to connect that way. So yes, listening to respond is very common, and yes, it's sometimes how we're brought up. Yeah, of course. So I listen for solutions. My training is as a physio, so I listen to hear like the clinical pattern, the 24-hour symptom pattern, how the patient or issue responds to pain medications or not, rest or not, movement or not, the aggravating factors. Like it's a very finite list of things that you listen to work it out. And sometimes there is so much power in actually just listening so your partner can get it off their chest. Now, to really see that for what it is, when we shine light on any issue or anything that's running in the quiet, running in the forest, you shine light on it, it has to change. It has to move. It will shift. So just speaking to what's going on without a solution, without trying to go in and save it or change it or make it happen or fix it. I'm definitely a fixer. Sometimes people just need to be seen and to be felt and to be really, truly heard. And maybe half the feelings that are running for them in the background will literally dissipate because we have that human desire to be seen, to be heard, to be nourished and acknowledged. And that in of itself is tremendously supportive. Don't downgrade how powerful it is to actually sit there and receive and listen and feel their pain, feel their discomfort, feel how truly emotional and frustrated they are that this keeps happening all the time. Take time to feel into what the solutions are, because there's probably a lot of solutions that over time, I'm sorry that I'm hitting home too much, but this should be helpful. Take time to process. Take time to sit with it. I know that my partner definitely enjoys a couple of days for things to mill over and run in his head. He's not an instantaneous operator at all. So allowing space for him to process what I've said, even if it's uncomfortable for me, even if it means that I'm unsure, even if there's that uncertainty, just gives more truth, and you're going to get an authentic, heartfelt reaction, not a knee-jerk reaction. So allow them to land. Invite the conversations to listen, and knowing that listening is powerful in and of itself. That might be all you need to do. So hopefully this helps you to do better in your relationships when you can see and you can feel where they're coming from. But you've got to let your guard down. If you want that, you've got to let that guard down. So embrace what is coming up in the relationship. See it as an opportunity to make things be better. See it as an opportunity to make things greater, to make your life greater. Our relationships are the space for growth and to have a magical, beautiful life if you actually get together as a team and allow that space and that time. Life is pretty shitty if your relationship is real shitty. Let's be honest. Your relationship is a chance for you to have an awesome life, for you to be supported, for you to ask what you want this life to be like. You get to ask. How can your partner provide that for you if they have no idea? Ask from your heart. Explain why. Don't expect an immediate response. That's how you have better relationships. You talk about the shit fight. You don't run and hide from it. It builds up, it explodes like an overflowing dam. So take the lessons, take the learnings, feel into it, and think of the AFL analogy and the players on the field, and how if you can look at each player's part or each little part of the relationship and how that could be a little bit better, the whole team will win. You want the team to win, both you and them. Yes, men want to win. It's in their nature. They also want the woman to win in life. So the team wins, you and them, or him and I. We all get to win when we support each other.